Hi everyone, I am Rosa Parks. Barack Obama describes me as a person slight in stature but mighty in courage. I'm an ordinary married black woman who by chance I have become a human rights hero. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, in 1893, at which time all the Deep South enforced strict laws of segregation. What is segregation? This refers to a state or country making rules against ethnic or racial minorities due to suffer the consequence of a system that chokes their opportunities and provides them with far less service than the white majority, only for the color of your skin, in addition to being treated as mentally handicapped. For instance, a specific area in a restaurant was earmarked for colored people, whereas the other was for white people. The same segregating formula was applied on different public bathrooms, and so on. In addition to this, there were some jobs done just by black people, which were poorly paid and extremely hard, such as farming by hand. However, they could hardly ever afford dinner in a restaurant. At the beginning of my life, my husband and I started struggling to bring equality between black and white people as activists, so that colored people were able to be candidates for elections or to attend university, but at the moment there was not any hope of success. The straw which broke the camel's back happened in December 1955. Back then I was 45 and bored a city bus back home, exhausted after a long day's work as a seamstress. Suddenly the bus driver noticed that three white people were standing on the bus, so he instructed me and two black people to move from our seats, so that white people could sit there. I politely refused, so the driver reported me and I was arrested with a fine. This fact was quickly spread, and a group of activists suggested a bus boycott. Don't get the bus on Monday. We set up the Montgomery Improvement Association, and our leader was a young man called Martin Luther King, who kept the protest peaceful. All black communities and their supporters walked, cycled, hitched rides, and used church and community carpools rather than public buses. The boycott took about 308 days, and it was so big that the bus company was close to the wall. Meanwhile, I appealed against my fine and conviction. In November 1956, the U.S. Supreme Court stated that Alabama's racial segregation laws, as practiced on the buses, were unconstitutional. As every cloud has a silver lining, this judicial setback against Alabama's law came as a breath of fresh air for the defense of the civil rights and brought Martin Luther King into the spotlight, but sadly he was assassinated a few years later. On the other hand, protesters underwent intimidation and violence. Some churches and homes were firebombed. Also, in all demonstrations, activists used to be badly treated by the police and some racist people, to the extent that it was quite common for some activists to end up in prison for a couple of days. After this historic event, I was a household name everywhere, and I continued giving speeches, most of them with Martin, supporting the battle for equality with my husband. Instead of my health, I had a hard time getting a job and living an ordinary life. I died at the age of 92 in 2005, and I was recognized as the mother of the civil rights movement. Nowadays, everyone is able to have a wonderful journey sitting on a bus in Montgomery. Thanks to my brave act of disobedience, I changed the life of a lot of people in the USA for the better. However, in 2022, in the country of freedom, some colored citizens are still suffering from segregation. It is so easy to read a piece of news about black people shot by the police. That mountain anger has triggered the creation of the Black Lives Matter movement. So the fight go on.